Hello everyone, welcome back to the Captain's Log. I am Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.
And Eric and I are going to talk about some news. Not as much news the last 3 weeks as we usually get. I don't
even know if you sent me any news articles.
Talk for a few minutes. I sent you maybe a couple of things. I think there are some things I have on here that maybe I forgot to tell you about. I don't know. And I think there might be a couple of things that we saw that I should have put on here.
My live reaction.
And didn't. But like there wasn't a lot of really major stuff. So, the first thing I wrote on here a couple of weeks ago was, because we got this news that turned out to not be real, was that there was a CW Superman TV show in development, and then the very next day, oh wait, nuh-uh, so the news is that's not happening, and that's unfortunate. I wish that was happening. Originally, what had been reported wrong was that they were thinking about doing a show with Hulkwin because they had gotten rid of Henry Cavill, so they weren't worried about Superman in movies anymore. But that would have meant that the whole Michael B. Jordan thing was totally rumored territory, and that seems to not be the case. It seems like they might actually be looking at him, from everything I've read. So, anyway, that's not happening, and that's unfortunate. I don't think it should matter what's going on in the movies. I don't really understand why they can't do both. But and, like, they've actually put him in the show, so like they don't use him much, but you know he's there. I gotta tell you, the more I'm hearing about the Elseworlds thing, the more I'm excited about it. And like I'm sure there's no way just the way the CW shows have gone, there's no way it's as great as it sounds like it could be. But it just sounds like so much fun, and it sounds like a real Elseworlds thing. I'm just really excited about it.
Cool.
And then they're finally doing Lex Luthor in the Supergirl show, so that's cool. I haven't been watching that, but I just thought that was notable. Not at the time that I wrote this down.
Do you like Rosenbaum shows up in first season of... I completely forgot. He shows up in the first season of Always Sunny.
Does he really?
He's in one episode.
Well, that's his sensibilities. I mean, he likes dark comedies, so...
He's good. He's fun.
Is he?
Yeah.
We haven't talked about Luke Cage getting canceled. That feels like a million years ago now, but we haven't actually talked about it. It came up on the Captain Logan show, I think, but Eric and I haven't talked about it. So, Iron Fist gets canceled, and then Luke Cage gets canceled the day Daredevil drops, which does not feel like a coincidence. It feels like Netflix is sending Disney a message, maybe. And it's important to note that Netflix canceled it, not Disney. And this feels like a very shots fired thing where they are not getting along well. And what I read was that Luke Cage they had scripts in development.
Six episodes.
And it was supposed to happen.
And it was supposed to be 10 episodes, so over half of that season was written.
And they just had huge creative disputes between the two companies. And at the 11th hour, they said, fine, we're just not going to make it.
Which means, at least to me, because one of the things that every article mentioned was Jessica Jones season 3 is still happening.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced. If you can be halfway written on your season and they can pull the plug, I think Jessica Jones can still go down.
Yeah, but potentially. But like if
that showrunner,
if it's all written and like they could be past a point of no return place on that.
And that showrunner's leaving after the season. She signed a deal with NBC, CBS, something like that.
Okay.
So that could also be incentive to not make that show.
Wouldn't it be really strange? I'm not totally with you on that. I'll be real surprised if that doesn't actually end up happening.
Okay.
Everything I've read says, like, there's no way that doesn't get made. But...
Okay.
I think they're past a point of no return place.
Okay.
Like, they've probably already started building things and stuff.
Yeah, they start casting people.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I might be wrong, man. I don't really know anything. I would be really surprised at this point. And it would also be really strange because Punisher is shooting, so, like, that's going to happen. But it would be really strange if that got made, and that was the last one until more Daredevil, if more Daredevil happens. Now, Daredevil remains up in the air. As of right now, we don't know whether or not it's going to get another season. It hasn't been officially renewed. The only evidence we have at all, and this is grain of salt, and I don't know why people take stock in this, but I guess I'm going to mention it because I read about it. The only thing we have is somebody tweeted Daredevil's getting canceled or they're not doing season 4, and D'Onofrio responded with nope. But that's all. And like I can't read anything into that.
Mm.
Like who knows? Not getting like it's not canceled is not the same as it's coming back, right? Because like it hasn't been renewed yet, as far as we know.
Mm-hmm.
As of right
and
now.
that's all that can mean is it has not been canceled yet.
Or if the news has come out, it was renewed. I've not read it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So as of right now,
why is everything?
I don't think
like
we know.
I watch on Netflix like Pins and Needles, like waiting to see if it gets renewed. Like we didn't know Castlevania was getting renewed. I feel like every show everyone else watches, like they just know there's more Orange is the New Black is coming. Like they're not waiting to see if it got renewed. Like House of Cards was like that. That was waiting to see if it got renewed. Like how come all my shows are the ones I have to like wait?
To be fair though, after Kevin Spacey was done, we were waiting to see if they were going to actually finish it.
But that's a isolated incident, right? Like that's not like but before that you were never sitting around waiting to see is it gonna get renewed or we're getting another season? Like you just knew. Right? Maybe it's just I'm not following those shows.
Yeah, but up until recently we also had that with Marvel. I had more of a why don't you guys quit renewing things and just make miniseries and then come back when you really have a story to tell. Like I'm not getting quite as worked up as some people probably would expect me to about cancellations with Marvel Netflix. Like it's with the specific things. Like it is unfortunate not to get more Luke Cage. Don't get me wrong.
Especially at the ending.
With that ending, it's a good season. And I don't even want to say like it's horribly rocky, but like I'm not as worked up about that as I would be if Daredevil got canceled, especially after its last season. And I'm excited that Iron Fist is done because I wouldn't even finish that second season, and I don't want more of that show. Like even if it suddenly got great or whatever, they've just lost me. Like I'm glad that's done. You know, I'm Jack Nicholson in '89 right now. I'm glad it's dead. But the thing, like I'm just nervous about that relationship with Netflix and Disney,
and
that signals a bigger scary
and
thing.
They own Mark
bigger problem
Millar.
for me.
They don't need Marvel to make superhero shows. They have story pitches in comic book form. They can make their own superhero stuff. They don't need Marvel for that.
Yeah, but
if they want to be in on the superhero
that's
game.
a weird point to make because Marvel's brand recognition, and that's a bunch of stuff nobody's ever heard of with Millar.
But they can tell us Netflix originals.
But they won't necessarily be watched as well as Marvel did. Because again, it's got that brand recognition. Like I don't think this is as much about genre as it is about proven material. Netflix doesn't need superhero at all. You see what I'm saying?
But a lot of their stuff isn't proven material. It is Netflix original. That's where they're moving. I mean, I guess they're doing that Witcher show. Like they're doing things that are based on material.
They are doing things that's based on pre-existing material. I would just be surprised if they were thinking about it that way. I bet it's never crossed their mind. We have Millar. I bet that's never crossed their mind.
You might be right. It sounds like Disney's just not cooperating. Like that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what Disney wants from them, but whatever it is, not what Netflix wants. And that could be what we've gotten so far is more or less what Disney wanted, and Netflix wants to go in a different direction. Like I don't.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the.
My assumption is Netflix worked with relative autonomy, and that's no longer the case.
But what we're learning is Netflix just like it's more risk for them now, and they're having to pay for these high-dollar TV shows that they just don't need. And so because
the superhero shows are expensive.
if they're not getting along with Disney, there's no reason for them to keep making them. I still say it never made sense to make multiple seasons as fast as they did with those. Those should not have been greenlit into 5 different TV shows plus a miniseries. They should have been miniseries in the first place. You just come back when you have a story to tell. I'm not saying we wouldn't still be in this place if that had happened, but they would be canceling shows that hadn't gotten started yet rather than in the middle of stories. So now we're going to have a bunch of things that are like Agent Carter where we just don't finish anything. And that's unfortunate. I'm worried we'll be lucky if any of the Netflix shows get endings. Because now 2 of the 5 aren't going to.
And it would be foolish to...
Now, this isn't to say that these characters will never come back in some form, necessarily. And are you wondering what I am? Are the other shows going to be allowed to use those characters? Are they going to come back? But if those actors aren't on contract anymore...
Yeah. And could they force them in? Like, could that be better? Could Daredevil Season 4 be like Defenders Season 2?
Yeah.
I think it would be foolish if Daredevil Season 4 gets made. I think it would be foolish not to make that like an ending.
Me too. And I was excited when Iron Fist got canceled, besides the obvious reason, because I thought maybe they'd just rope him into Luke Cage, which I did want to see happen, but now Luke Cage is done.
Mm-hmm.
But Jessica Jones is the last vestige. You could bring both of those characters easily into that show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Jessica Jones would be the place. You won't agree with this because of what I know you want that show to be, but hear me out. Jessica Jones over Daredevil would be the place to do a Defenders Light season 2.
No, you're right. No,
if you were going to do it.
Yeah. And that season you finally put Luke and Jessica together.
Yeah, that would be the place to do it.
And with Jessica pregnant.
And I don't mean that they should all be like that. It should be the Luke and Jessica and Iron Fist show. I mean to say that those two could easily be supporting characters. Yeah.
I mean, she's not the main character in season 2 anyway, so.
Wonder Woman 84 was pushed back to June 4th, 2020. And the rumor that's going around, and I have it from someone with like inside knowledge that this is probably what's going on, but I still resist this. Have you heard about this? The rumor is that they're going to soft reboot and that out of Wonder Woman, and that's the reason that movie's getting pushed back. They're going to do reshoots, and they're going to do some kind of time travel mumbo jumbo at the end of that movie in order to soft reboot and get us out of the DCEU that we had.
That feels like a really hard thing to do inside of an already being made movie.
Yes, it does. Here's the thing. If that was... And again, I'm skeptical of that, personally. But... besides the fact that it was already, and there's apparently been some behind the scenes turmoil with that movie anyway, so I don't know.
I did hear about that.
So I don't know.
But I couldn't find out what it was.
Me neither. Both of those two things could be happening simultaneously.
Mm.
If forgetting for a moment that it was a movie that was already conceived of differently, that is the place to do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you were going to do it, a period piece where you can change things before any of those movies happened, that's the place to do it.
Yeah, and I don't even know if you need time travel. You just need to establish that... because nothing in Wonder Woman sets up BVS or Justice League. Just do something in the 84...
Yes, it does.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
Oh, because of bookends.
The picture.
Yeah.
Remember, they've got the photograph of Trevor and everything. And they've also got Wonder Woman talking about all that in Justice League.
Yeah.
It's minor stuff, but like, you could...
I would just make an 84 that can't possibly end up in BVS.
Yeah, maybe so, but they would want to be more...
definitive.
Obvious about it, right?
Yeah. They don't want just us to pick up on it.
Yeah. They would... like, the point of doing it would be to tell the public, we're Days of Future Pasting this.
My initial reaction is I really resist taking a standalone film and making it a universe rebooter. Unless time travel is already involved in that film.
Me too, but if you did it, but if that had been the plan in the first place, that's the place to do it.
Sure. I don't think that is. I don't think that was.
I don't think so either.
Nothing told me that. Let's see.
Honestly, I'll be surprised if that's what they're doing.
Me too. That sounds counterintuitive even for Warner Brothers.
Yeah. So, I need CBS to stop making Star Trek shows.
Did they announce more?
I just need it to stop, Eric. I need it to stop. We found out what that animated series is. And it sounds like the worst thing ever. I sent you the article.
Okay.
I don't know if you looked at it. It sounds like the worst thing ever.
That sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't remember exactly what it is.
So, they're doing a comedy.
Of course.
Because of course they are. And it's the Rick and Morty guys.
Oh, it's Dan Harmon and the other guy.
Or somebody from that show.
Okay.
I actually don't know if Harmon's involved.
Okay.
And it's called Lower Decks, because of course we have to take the episode title of one of the best episodes of TNG and turn it into a slapstick comedy. And it's basically the Red Shirt Show.
Look, just be honest. They don't know it was an episode of TNG.
No, they probably do. And it's just adding insult to injury. No, it sounds awful. It's just, and part of my issue is just, we're never going to have any sense of continuity again. It's just the feeling I get is Star Trek's just this broad brushstroke thing now where we'll just make random series that don't really go together. And I don't mean to harp on continuity too much. It's just Star Trek's continuity is a special thing for me. So, like, I always say this, if you tell good stories, I don't care as much about continuity. If first season Discovery didn't fit with anything, but it was great. I could kind of just look at it as a full-on reboot, and I don't care that much. But it's awful. And this, like, we're already in a place where, like, so I meant to say this in the first place. One of the things I love about Star Trek is just that it had such a, like, tight-knit, like, for the most part, vast and continuity that made sense, right?
And that's part of what I came to love about TNG.
That's part of what I like about it so much, and we've just lost that. And so now we're even making like a basically what sounds like a parody of Star Trek inside of Star Trek. Okay, whatever. Like my worry is, if they make like 5 shows and I only like a couple of them and they don't go together anyway, I guess I shouldn't care that much. But it kind of bugs me because I'm worried that all of them are going to be things I'm just not going to be into. I'm just not going to like. I'm really worried about the Picard show.
I really want it to just be called the Picard show.
I do too.
Do you know that there's one of these?
It's just a talk show on the bridge.
Do you know that there was one of these for Star Wars? I forget what the title is, but I don't remember how far along in production it gets. It gets really far along.
Wow.
And like then just goes into a vault. Like we just never see it. And it like. This is like early, like 20-teens.
But Star Wars had stuff like droids. Like Star Trek's never done anything like Star Trek the animated series is kind of silly, but like we've never done anything like this with Star Trek.
And not since the resurgence of with TNG.
Yeah.
Like Star Trek the animated series was like, well, we're never going to make any more of this.
This could end up being really fun and funny. It's just not a thing I want.
Yeah.
Like I just wish we weren't doing that.
And if it's Rick and Morty guys, it's probably going to be like borderline R-rated.
Yeah, you've already got Discovery doing that in places.
Yeah.
So, I can't get excited about that. I'm not saying I won't try it, because I try everything, but, I'm not excited about that. Oh, and it got immediately a 2-season order.
Of course it did.
I am excited about this. Disney is doing a Bucky and Falcon limited series.
Yep, sounds cool.
And that sounds great, because I love Falcon, so yay. We already mentioned earlier in the show that Castlevania Season 3 got ordered. So that's happening.
Yeah, excited, super excited. 10 episodes.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
Maybe Season 4 will finally get 12 episodes, and we'll just stay there.
So that's going to be it for news right now. Like I said, we didn't have a ton to talk about this time, so just knock those things out real quick. Eric and I are going to move on now to the letters pages. We're going to answer some of your questions, so stick around for that. And if you're watching on the Omnibus playlist, just keep it rolling. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Eric.
And we'll see you soon.